your business need a bank, or should you just let Google handle it all? Small business owner and columnist Gene Marks says your banking relationship is about to change, and he joins me now to explain why. Gene, good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Great to see you. So you wrote about this in a recent article, which I loved, on Inc.com,
Right.
and you start the article by posing that very question, does your business really need a bank? What's the Gene Marks answer to
It's
that?
not just your business. I mean, just actual individuals.
People in general,
But
yeah.
The banking world is changing for a lot of us, Eve, and we talk about some examples. So, for example, like Walmart is offering, really low-cost checking if you want to sign up with them. T-Mobile, for example, is selling debit cards that you can throw your money on and then use it to buy stuff as well. Like, so why have a check? And then we talk about Google. Is Google somebody out there? I mean, they have something called Google Wallet, and with Google Wallet, you can put your cash onto that. You can then use either your phone or a credit card to take money out, to put money in, to do all your transactions. So you start thinking to yourself, whether I'm a business owner or I'm just an individual, do I really need a bank anymore? Like, will this put banks out of business?
Yeah.
And it certainly is changing the way that we're doing business with banks.
Okay, now let's calm down all of our banking friends who are out there calling my boss right now.
All your sponsors.
Yes.
All that, I
Yes.
hear you.
Now, do they need to panic, Gene? They're not going away,
They
right?
do not. They do.
Yeah.
I mean, the good banks, which I'm sure your sponsors are
Yes,
good
they're
banks
very
as
good,
well.
the best.
They adapt to the new situation. So when I wrote in Inc. magazine, I mean, I featured Capital One Bank only because they were, I interviewed somebody from there, and they're an example of like a bank that's sort of adapting to that new environment. So first of all, if you're a small business or even you're an individual, I mean, banks provide services that you just really aren't going to get from a Google, or you're not going to get from a Walmart. Financial planning, other types of services, handling cash flow management, things like that. So that's very, very important. Now, if you're a business owner, banks do provide loans, but you're going to see that change as well with all these new crowdfunding sites and so on.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of the changes that business owners, or even us as individuals, when I was reading your article, I thought, boy, I haven't really stepped foot in a bank, and I can't tell you the last time I used my phone.
Isn't that amazing? When I'm a kid, right? I mean, I was thinking, like, back in the 70s, I remember my mom would have to go to the bank and take money out.
Friday.
Yeah, the banks would close at like 10 in the morning, and you couldn't go back there until the next Tuesday or whatever. Now, like, when was the last time you stepped into a bank?
I remember.
And the biggest reason why is that smart banks they're becoming more mobile. So when I was even talking to people from Capital One, they have like a mobile app. Most banks have these things.
Sure, yeah.
Where you can take a picture of your checks now when you get it, automatically deposits in your bank. You use that mobile app to make your payments, whether you're an individual or you're a business. Those are the kinds of things that are really changing your relationship with your banker. But that relationship will not go away. You always will have some type of relationship with them.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit more about how that relationship with the banker will change. You mentioned 4 things in your article, and just kind of summarize, looking forward, what things we as individuals need to think about, and business owners.
Well, mobiles is one, right? Okay, we're all going to be using mobile a lot. Now, another one that's a really important one is just loans. I mean, we've always tended to go to banks for our loans, and banks are certainly in the business of doing that. But, Eve, it's pretty wild. With a lot of the angel investors that are out there, there's other types of financing. There's crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter and Indigo. I mean, Zach Braff just financed his new movie, right? Most of it.
Amazing.
Right, on Kickstarter.
Right.
And what that does is it allows people that are more of a credit risk to try and get money from there to get themselves to a certain level where then the banks can then step in and say, okay, this person's kind of proved themselves. They've gotten some financing already. They've used the money. Well, now we can loan that money. So, that's going to change the nature and people like finding financing. Another thing is big data. So right now, about you individually, there's a lot that can be found out about you. Oh, I know, scary, right? So it's not just your friends that are stalking you. Your bankers could be doing the same thing, but not in a bad way.
Right, getting information just quickly and approving you for loans and whatnot.
Right? Not just credit information, job history, but also even information on social media and the type of activities that you have. I mean, the whole question is, what kind of a credit risk are you? Banks are using big data to determine all of that about you and make better decisions. I think that's a good thing for the entire economy, because the better decisions bank makes, the less bad loans there are and the less chance we have of having an issue that we have a few years ago.
Great. So banks not going anywhere, but we will see some changes in our
relationships with banks.
Okay. Gene, thank you. And you can read Gene's full article on Inc.com. We'll have a link on our website, WFMZ.com. We'll be right back. Stay with us.